Hello, good afternoon. 16th of October, um, 2020. Now, Singapore flag. I made other video about Singapore Shipping Association, which we are members of, because Candina has a company in Singapore since 2017 called Candina Fleet Pta Limited. We are going to certify it for ISO 9001 for first time. We are looking for some kind of assistance in Singapore because I cannot travel to with this COVID, and we are expecting class to clarify this certification due to the fact that before we used to have a permanent person there, and then due to the crisis we stopped. Now we are going to continue, and so it is like a bit of help from Singapore community. We are going to contact this Singapore Shipping Association regarding this when we have just one little second. I don't know, at night while we sleep or something. And meanwhile, we are looking forward to also expand into the Singaporean flag. Now, what problems we have some companies that have decided to diversify the nationalities on board. First of all, I think it's a very interesting measure to focus into diversification techniques, but it is also very complicated. It's not as easy as it looks, and then we have to study the wage scales, the compliance of the terms, conditions, enlistment contracts. But Singapore flag can also help very much in it. First of all, it can really clarify which are the suppliers for the flag, like doctors, medical tests, and PNI covers in case of incidents of the crew. For example, one huge competitive advantage that I have just thought of, which I mentioned before, was saliva tests to have on board ships in order to guarantee that all the seafarers under Singaporean flag do comply with the coronavirus free situation. I believe that protection indemnity clubs have not fought so much for this, and I believe it is time that they realize how important it is the health to avoid incidents, and therefore I think it is an obligation of the flag, but this is my personal little recommendation. I would think that if I was in Singapore in charge of Singaporean flag, that I would take care that these suppliers improve either cost or quality. And the first thing, of course, is risk zero. But for what? For the humans. So today is Friday, 16th October. Yes, I think we need the solution for yesterday, like we, the people in Bilbao, say. That's for 15th. So tomorrow, I believe, is 17th in Singapore. It's a working day, Saturdays. So I work also Sundays and holidays. And this, yes, I love this work, so why not? It's positive. Therefore, I think Singaporean flag, this is one of the first areas that they could look at. It could be a huge competitive advantage to have some kind of compulsory, let's say, recommendation, pro forma intentions of recommendation, suggesting, yes, very British word, yes, let's suggest uh, invitation, yes, invite. Uh, the flag invites PNIs to recommend and promote to have tests on board at the cost of PNI's behalf, so that the safety of the seafarers it is guaranteed. And I'm sure that lawyers would, my late father, who is not there in the photo, would have found the right expression, and show that the UK, the English language has huge amount of Shakespeare words to define this in order that we take it seriously. I believe that the uh, health of seafarers nowadays is the most important thing, and because they are heroes. So why aren't we treating heroes like heroes? Singapore flag, please. Uh, this is point number one. Then point number two would be regarding other suppliers, as I mentioned. But in this case, I don't want to get so much into this point number one. I think it's clear. So what else do we have to talk about? Health of seafarers. I mean, these are heroes, and you, Singaporean Flag Administration and Singapore Shipping Association, Singapore humans and all the humans of the world, we are all heroes too. So why not do this positive for yesterday? What's the problem here? Then again, now this is one competitive advantage. Now, two competitive advantages: the countries that are endorsed by Singapore. I was asked by one of a client about Peruvian, and then I found that Panama is in the list, and Venezuela I don't think is in the list. Well, anyway, I don't remember all the flags, all the endorsements, all the certificates, but I do have a better, idea, approximate. And found out that Peru is not approved by Singapore, and I guess why is it not approved? Well, uh, I just don't get it. There must be a reason, huge reason. So there must be some kind of summit in the Azores, or we must have a summit to find out the reason. I don't get it. I think we flags well, sorry, flags, but I mean, I think we associations and we crew management companies and all in the maritime industry have to show how responsible we are. If today we could open this window to another nationality, if it does comply, even if it is under some kind of temporary quarter, 3 months provisional. I'm sure we can find a word like pro forma, pending, this, whatever. But I think if there is like 500 officers with families, and if it was the opposite, if it was like Peruvian flag would not accept Singaporean officers and ratings, and well, it's officers only because it's only required the endorsements for officers. Then, what would the the situation be? Well, it would be the same. I don't think it would change. Then, well, who knows what side we are in the battle, but we are in the same side. Yes, we're all humans. So why not Singapore accept these Peruvian officers' endorsements? I just don't get it. It could be great news from Singapore today because that's all we can do. I cannot travel to Singapore to get my certificate of quality or audited, or I cannot travel. I should not travel, and Singapore should not allow me to enter either, unless it is strategical, like it is essential heroes, seafarers. Yes, but then why not open to this nationality? This is another point too that the Singaporean flag, from my little point of view, could do. I also gave more. I made a video about Singapore Shipping Association ideas, and so because I believe that the competitive advantage of us rowing together in Singapore is very, very important. We are there, and as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, at this moment in time, we do need some little assistance because this coronavirus, I'm sure that as well as some can get help from us anytime we are here. So yes, then we are asking for little help in that respect. We will call SSA later. And regarding this Singaporean flag, I believe it is for the international trade one of the flags that has the biggest um, competitive advantage. I believe the competitive advantage is not with regards of this health, because I'm sure that always Singapore has been leader into implementing, establishing, because it does not have then the five institutions that they have to cut every process like we have in Europe. And I, I was so happy that I happen to be sometimes in Singapore, and every time I'm there, I am always staying very close to the justice. Yes, and I walk around. Yes, I never see in the justice palace and yes building. I never see much activity, and I once went once around it, and then I went another time, and then I got to the conclusion the second time that the sun was hitting me up, and of course that made me think that it is really empty because it works. So every time I go here in Bilbao or any Palace of Justice, if you go to one and if you see a lot of people around, it's because it doesn't work. Why? Because Singaporean Palace of Justice, it was empty around. It was really a pleasure. I only saw police taking photos of the cars trying to park or something, and then automatic billing and invoicing and the fine for parking wrongly. And oh, well, I thought to myself, well, I think I got that one right, probably. But then I went to other Palace of Justices throughout the world, and like here in Bilbao, in Madrid, everywhere, and there is always a lot of people and lawyers and everything, and that's because it has a 5% efficiency. If they are empty, it has 100% efficiency. Yes, very intelligent. So this is a huge competitive advantage for Singaporean flag. If you thought about it, point number three now is point number one. Why? Because of cost of opportunity. The opportunity cost of this British law is huge. Not only because it's situated in the center of Asia and the time zones, east, west, north, south, plus, but also the main core competitive advantage is the British law. And then, inside this competitive advantage of the British law, Singaporean flag has another competitive advantage, which is that its process is not cut in five. So today they can make a decision about this health issue that is binding, that is recommended for these tests to have on board Singaporean flagships. Today, just like that. They don't have to go to four different windows to ask permissions and have summits and summits and summits and summits and cost, 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 cost. But the worst thing is the competitive advantage. They are losing the point. Now, okay, let's get the point in Singapore. Yes, so I think this was point number three before the video started, and now the cost of opportunity is point number one, because it could become world's first flag of convenience or non-convenience, or how you call it, shipping flag. And this is a huge competitive advantage. I believe this is going to be. But now in this coronavirus, there are also other ways to improve Singapore's competitive advantages of the flag. There are many, many, many ways. All of them very good for the areas of competence of this maritime business. All of them are going to benefit. All of them are going to benefit the community, and so are good. So we go faster and we don't use so much energy. Nice. It's like having the current, the wind, and the sun in favor. And this can be done in Singapore. But let's start for the health. Then we go for these Peruvian officers and really talking to other flags and saying why not. And then it is the area of this simplification of the law applicable that in the Singapore Shipping Association, in the Singaporean flag, we can take advantage of this because it is the best law and it has 5 steps to make one decision. No, it's one. So it's a huge competitive advantage. And I hope you have liked this video and I say hello to Singapore Shipping Association. I believe that you are doing a great job. We have a big, huge problem and let's face it in shipping. Let's stop the virus to our ships and then let's go and attack for the flag and for the association. I believe there is many other points that we could be doing, but for now, have a very nice weekend. Thank you.